Here we go, over the bridge. New York City Marathon, let's do it.
Whisper it, big races are back, and that means marathon season. So if you haven't started already, then now is exactly the right time. And to help you out, not only have we got this video to kick you off, but if you stick around until the end, we've also put together a playlist of all of our best marathon videos to help you to reach your goals. And if that wasn't enough, we've also got some brand new videos planned very, very soon. So if you don't want to miss any of those, make sure that you hit subscribe. Now, we'd also like to know exactly how many of you are going to be heading out there and hitting the start line. So if you are planning on racing, make sure you give this video a like. We're going to use it exactly like a live race counter. And drop us a comment below as well to tell us exactly which race it is that you're going to be taking on. Now, to get you started, here are our top tips to help you get around that 26.2 miles.
Now, the jump between a 10K and a half marathon, well, that's pretty big. But the jump between a half marathon and a marathon, that's pretty massive. So just because you've already run a half marathon doesn't mean that you're ready to run a full marathon. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't, but it does mean that you're going to need to increase your mileage and do some more marathon specific work in your training. The key here is that it's up to you how much time and effort you're willing to put in to train for a marathon. By successfully training for and completing a half marathon, you've learned pretty much the basics of what you need to know to train for a marathon. What you will notice is that the frequency and therefore the volume of your mileage will increase. So you'll probably find yourself running 3 times a week, maybe up to 5 or more, depending on your experience. And with that comes reduced times for recovery in between. The long run is just one component of your training and should run alongside things like interval training and tempo runs and even some easier running as well. Your entire training for a marathon shouldn't be solely focused just on your long run.
You shouldn't feel beholden to a 7-day cycle. In fact, lots of elite runners might train on a 10-day cycle. So listen to your body, not the calendar.
Look to incorporate training at faster than your marathon pace right from the start of your marathon training, and do it regularly too, maybe once a week or at least every other week. Mixing it up and doing different paces will help to break up the monotony of the training. Speed work is actually a really crucial part of marathon training because it teaches you to be pushed out of your comfort zone, it makes you run with a more efficient form as well, and also gives you that adrenaline rush that you're likely to experience on race day itself.
So the reason why it's important to train at paces faster than your marathon pace is that your body needs different pace stimuli to adapt. Running faster will help your VO2 max to develop, it'll help your running economy, and crucially it'll then make that marathon pace feel that little bit easier.
And running in shorter, faster bursts also tends to break up the monotony of marathon training. A lot of runners can feel like they get stuck in a bit of a pace rut when they're training for a marathon, but keeping your legs ticking over by doing faster work is one way to break that monotony.
Why not try putting some stealth speed work into your training regime? If you finish a steady run and you're still feeling pretty good, then stop, maybe throw in a few drills, and then try 4 to 6 sets of 80 to 100 meters at about, say, 80 to 90% of your effort. Don't feel like you have to start at a full-out sprint, build into each one, and have a nice little walk back in between to recover properly.
So think about trying out your marathon pace during some of your longer runs. So you could maybe look at doing 4 lots of 15 to 20 minutes at marathon pace with 5 minutes of easy running recovery in between. Or you could also have a go at alternating your kilometers during your long run. So doing a kilometer at marathon pace and then a kilometer at easy pace for 10 to 20 kilometers of your long run.
Another thing that you can do is look to hit that marathon goal pace towards the very end of your long runs. You could do this as a kind of progression run where you start very slowly and build up through hitting marathon pace right at the end. Nice thing about that is as soon as you've got to that marathon pace and done a bit of work there, you can stop.
Ultimately, you're going to have to try and find the type of fuel that works for you, and that means experimenting. There are loads of options out there. chews, gels, jelly beans, sports drinks, even homemade energy balls. Now it's best to try these for the first time when you're out on your training runs. That way you can get to know how they work with your body and most importantly with your digestion, because you may need to go to the loo sooner than you think when you try some of these for the first time. And if you just go on a short run around the block, it means if there are any problems, you can get home fast.
Make sure that you are eating enough whilst you're training for a marathon. You might experience an increase in appetite and want to eat all of the food. I definitely did. So making sure that you take enough food on board and get enough of the right kinds of food as well. So you're going to want to up your intake of carbohydrates when you up your mileage, because you need to replace the fuel that you're using. You're also going to want to up your protein intake as well, which will help with recovery and repair.
And while we're talking about repair and recovery, we cannot highlight enough the importance of sleep, because sleep during the night is when your body actually takes time to heal and repair itself. So don't scrimp on it.
Stretching after a long run is so important. It can help you avoid those aches and pains that you tend to feel afterwards by stretching your muscles out and giving yourself a bit more of flexibility. Now, stretching really helps the blood flow around your muscles. It can also make you less prone to injury as well. So make sure when you come back from your long run that you don't just come in and have a seat, because you'll probably not get back up for a while. Give yourself time to stretch and really loosen those muscles. Check out our video for some top stretches that you can try yourself. And as well as stretching, you can also do some foam rolling to really work those muscles. If you've been out for a long run, you need to rehydrate really within the first 10 to 15 minutes of getting back. Even if it wasn't a particularly warm run, you still need to replace fluids that you will have lost through sweating. And it goes without saying that if it's the height of summer and a really warm run, that you'll need to replace even more fluids then as well. So a way to replace sodium that you lose in your sweat is by using electrolytes. So we've got some tablet forms here, or you can get them in the form of sports drinks or powders. So with these ones, you just pop them in your water and then drink them like you would your normal water, but that will help replace any sodium lost through sweating. Also, don't forget to rehydrate throughout the day, not just when you get back from your run.
I think I just heard someone say, nearly there. We're really not. That's not helpful. Woo, 13, that's nearly halfway. I can see the halfway mark. 15 miles. When this is done, I am eating all the food. Run a marathon, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Everything hurts. Great cheering, puppy. Yeah. It's just a 10K with a 10-mile warm-up. No, hang on, 20-mile warm-up. I'm getting very emotional. Actual tears. But all these people are out cheering for us. Like, all the signs are like amazing. And like, you're inspiring and you're amazing because you can run a marathon. And like, just having that support from total strangers is, yeah, it's pretty special. So because it's so quiet on this bridge, I can hear lots of footsteps, including my own. I'm not actually listening to music, but I can also hear my beads of courage jangling, which is just like a constant reminder to me of the Children with Cancer UK and the amazing work that they do. It's just constant battles with your mind, and it's like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And like, even just someone shouting, "You've got this," is like huge at this point. These guys are epic. It's hard on your body, it's hard on your mind to focus, but like, anyone can do it. Look, I'm doing it. I might not be doing it well, for doing it. And I just really hope that by like giving you an insight into running marathons, that like at least one person will be like, that looks horrible, but I really want to do it.
I'm here with Sarah Dudgeon, who is the proud owner of no fewer than 4 Guinness World Records titles. So Sarah, tell me a bit about your first title.
The first Guinness World Records that I have is fastest marathon dressed in a wedding dress. I have also got the fastest marathon dressed in a nurse's uniform. I've also run the fastest marathon dressed as a monk, and I also have the record for fastest marathon 3-legged female, so that's 2 girls doing it at the same time.
Great. And so what tips do you have for someone running in costume for the first time?
Well, step 1 is to apply for Guinness World Records, because you can't just turn up in the day in your panda outfit. I think it would be a good idea for you to talk to them. And the second thing I would do, which I think you're doing quite well on as well, is to try the outfit on. So well done. This is a good step. You don't want to be just turning up to the marathon start on the day.
So I suppose the last thing I need to do is to get some training in. Bye.
One of the most important principles of tapering is to maintain the intensity. So even though you're cutting down on the distance, you're still keeping your leg speed ticking over. So for example, if you're building up to a marathon on a Sunday, you may still end up doing an interval track session on the Tuesday beforehand, but just not at the same intensity that you've been used to before, and that will just keep those legs ticking over nicely before race day.
Yeah, absolutely. The most important thing is that a taper does not consist of getting to 3 weeks before marathon day and just stopping. That is absolutely not what you do. But a lot of people do worry that if they cut back too much, they're going to lose fitness. Do not worry about that. It will not happen. And you are far more likely to have a bad race if you go into it still tired, having overtrained, than if you go into it nicely rested with fresh legs.
If you can, have a scout out of the route in advance. Check out what the terrain's going to be like, if there's going to be any hills, and also, if you can, find out exactly where the start is before you get there, which will help you massively on race day so you don't get lost. Get your kit out. You don't want to be scrabbling around looking for that random left sock that's buried somewhere at the back of a drawer on race day morning. Also, if you've got your hands on your number already, then write out your emergency contact details on the back and pin it to the top that you're going to wear for your race. Try to stay off your feet as much as possible the day before your race. Don't do as I did in Paris and decide to go and do all the touristy things and walk 30,000 steps. Trust me, your legs won't thank you for it the next day. So if you are feeling a bit nervous, maybe you want to take your mind off things, then do something sitting instead of walking and standing around. So maybe just go to the cinema or meet up with some friends. Anything that you can do to stop yourself from burning that extra energy that you can save up ready for race day.
I wonder how that race counter is getting on. If you haven't hit like already and you're planning on racing, then please do give us a like. We can keep track of how many of you out there are heading back to racing. Now, in the meantime, here is that promised playlist that we put together for you of all of our best marathon content ready for you to help you to reach your goals. If that doesn't take your fancy, then maybe you want to check out one of our other videos. Just click on the screen and it'll take you exactly where you want to go.